And we're live on a Friday, then Saturday, Sunday. What? I am the hostess with the mostest, the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil. I am your messenger of God, his very first creation of himself in the feminine form. I am the dark goddess, the LILITH reincarnated. In order to keep up with me, you had to see my last live video, anything I posted on my community page, and my shorts. Alright guys, this is about to be one of the longest videos ever. Really? It might be two parts. I just have so much. When I see this much, I'm like, holy shit. What am I about to teach you? I'm going to teach you a really hard crash course into divine feminine energy. What is happening right now? The divine feminine awakening. Okay? We have lived in the day of gods, right? The goddesses had died and we lived in the day of gods, and man made themselves gods. Well, this is where the divine feminine happens, where your heart awakens. And there is unbelievable amounts of books about goddesses related to the ruling over the heart, right? So, I am the divine feminine. I teach you the divine feminine awakening, which is how to use your heart to alchemize everything, basically. And we go through all these layers of our heart, which are described as like feelings, right? And all of them are ruled over by an archetype energy, which originally is me. I'm the messy version of it all, Lilith. And then afterwards, placed in different forms, perfected, if you will, perfected. So I'm going to give you a crash course in feelings. And you're going to know feelings by the name of a goddess. And that's how you're going to recognize the energy that we're in. So, first we're going to take some old, we're going to take some new. I did a video yesterday called the 10-day forecast. It was, we were opening the gates to the gods. It said in this week, it was a huge week in the Egyptian calendar, because I should actually just reread that bullshit so I don't fuck it up. Give me a moment. One moment, please. And we were pulling a bunch of 9. We were in the frequency of 9. It was the 9th card, and I remember seeing a bunch of 9. Alright, so let's see. During this week of the Egyptian calendar, many fortunate days occur. The day of Mayat, who is in front of you, which is Ray's daughter, who represents truth. Mayat is the Justice card. So how many of us have pulled the Justice card? Okay. Now, Isis is what? The Judgment card. Which is what? Rebirth. Really? You have Justice and Judgment right there in front of you. So that's, you know what I mean? That's how that works. Who represents truth. Kicks off the week, followed by Isis and Thoth going forward. Alright, so at the end of the week it said, this is so unbelievable to me. I talked about it all today, was how the fights are supposed to end. It was not just this card. There was many cards that came up. I'm going to just talk about all the feminine cards and the energies that are above us and are pushing upon us. I typically show you all the dark feminine energies we're working with, and the gods who are, the ascending masters who are giving us these messages, pushing these, what's pushing this to the surface, life experiences. So, currently, in a state of, this is one of my past lives. So I'm reliving this one currently. Compliance. Okay? So that's just where I am. It's a surrender. A state of surrender. Okay? Sure, whatever you say. We're working on that. Not, doing the work. Okay? So we talked about this. Now, earlier today, or with those cards, we also pulled... I have to keep you, online here. Keep up with me, because we're about to go way deep. I want to show you where it started. this card came out with it. Really? I pulled the 10-day energies. I'm giving you a recap. I usually don't do this type of shit. I tell you to go back and catch the other video. I pulled the 10-day energy, and we pulled being of service, which goes back to doing as you're told. Now, the whole message was the fights were supposed to come to an end. And how non-coincidentally, Russ didn't get that message and decides he wants to start fights instead of ending fights. Instead of ending wars, he wants to start wars. Typical. So typical. Anyways, we pulled this card, and this was about success in education, perfection in memory, intellectual ability, and the mastery of musical instruments. Told a whole story about it. Okay? Now, non-coincidentally, when I went to go pull these cards, she was on the top. Okay? Now, I bought these cards separately, and we're going to get into all of this, but I want you to understand where it's all starting from. Okay? Do you know where it started? Why I'm starting this class? Okay. Now, also, what we pulled yesterday, one more last card, I don't know where it is, was this one. The bridge between heaven and earth. They asked me to be a bridge, to create a bridge. I'm trying to create a bridge. Intellectually, I'm trying to teach you. This is all I can do, is teach you. I can teach you all the wisdom and the knowledge of the gods. So right now I'm giving you this. Why God created goddesses, why we harness the energy, why we harness the feelings, and we're here to teach you how to harness yours, along with the gods. Really? Because the gods knew about the action force. The goddesses knew about the, you know what I mean? The stillness. Super stillness. Okay? So, I'm going to put this card back and we're going to start a brand new teaching on just that. I want to give you an idea of what these energies mean as they're laying above us. But in order to do that, I want to start with these. When I first started my awakening, I had a couple of different things. These were one of the very beginnings. You see this? They read like tarot, but they also have the chakra cards, and they have the moon goddesses. It's all goddess energy. They're very dainty, they're not very specific, but immediately I carried all the goddesses with me and started learning them, all the different layers of the goddess. Afterwards, we got these, which is the dark goddess. We didn't get these, we got the book. It was Reclaiming Your Dark Goddess. Right? So we were all in the light, and then the Lilith came over me. And then, 3 years of darkness. Really? Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use these particular cards first, because we're really trying to focus on the light. So there's Mayat. I told you. She's the Justice card. Okay? Oh, excuse me. Isis is the Strength, or no, that was Skemet. I need Isis. Why do I have Skemet? There's a reason. She's the Magician card. That's what she is in this card. Really? Yeah. And then, I told you, Saraswati. If he knows his cards, right? You know the numbers, so that's the same. You know the numbers of tarot, right? Is that how it works or something like that? They're trying to tell me. Something like that. They're like, tell them the numbers. Alright, so let me turn them to... Oh, and then... yeah, we gotta bring all that. I didn't bring all of them. Okay, let's talk about Mayat. In the tarot, she's the Justice. Justice, balance, and fairness. The goddess of integrity, fairness, justice, and balance. Holds the scales that measure the souls against a feather at death. I pulled that card earlier in my tarot. Everyone's pulling it. Alright? The ancients believed that if someone's heart were heavy with lies and cheating, they would die permanently. But if their heart was light and just, their soul would continue to the afterlife. Mayat puts aside emotions and attachments and represents universal moral code. Mayat encourages you to look at situations with impartially. Be fair with yourself and others. Even if the outcome isn't what you hope for, it will be a just one. The saying is, I look at this situation in a just and fair way. And that's where you had to be for God to, you know what I mean, to say, put down the swords and go play, you know what I mean, go play nice. Wait, what? All is forgiven in love and war. When he says the war is over, then the war is over. Really? I mean, really? Alright, let's go down to Saraswati. So now we return to Isis. Isis is the magician. Manifestations and self-mastery. Goddess of magic, teaches you about your power to manifest dreams. Have I not been teaching you that? I've been teaching you manifestations for at least a month. Anything is possible with the power of belief. When you visualize your dreams and set intentions, you can make them come true. You are a powerful magician, and now is the time to connect your magical talents. You have a self... for anybody new, that was one of my last lives. I don't claim all of them. I'll tell you which ones where I took form. It was my energy. All of these were in me from the beginning. And they started layering it out between, you know what I mean, and humanity. It was too much. Too much? I am too much. Haven't you noticed? You have a deep potential for self-awareness and the ability to recognize, develop, and channel your abilities into a very concrete and practical way. With visualization, belief, connection, and intention, the tools of magic you co-create with the universe. The saying is, I know my power and manifest my dreams. Okay? Saraswati's number 10, and that's the High Priestess. Alright? So it's from Hindu, obviously. As the goddess of cosmic knowledge, music, art, nature, encourages you to align with the essence of who you are and follow the creativity of your soul. Explore your intuition and dreams. The answers you're searching for are within, so take time to meditate and listen to your own sacred wisdom. I got all kinds of downloads when I was out there meditating and stuff, but it had nothing to do with this. It was all personal information that might come up later or not. You may appear to be motionless on the outside, and that's exactly what happens. I know for sure people can see me because I stay still for too long. What happens? I just stop moving, and I stay completely still looking at the candle to where I don't even breathe. I have to blink after a while, but I don't move. For how long? I don't know. Multiple songs are playing in the background of my headphones, and I'm just sitting there, almost like somebody took the batteries out of me. I'm aware. I'm breathing. I can sense people around me. I'm just not, and that's the astral project. That's the leaving of the body. Really? Yeah. What happened? When that happens, you can feel that you're not there. And what happens is they fill your body with all kinds of stuff, and then they put you in it and make you work through it. Really? Yeah, some bullshit. What'd you put? There's something in the bottom of my, it's like there's something in my shoe. But within your inner landscape, you will be developing and attuning yourself to the cosmic world. This is a time for understanding your spiritual self, for trusting and following your intuition and creative inspiration. Really? Yeah. Those are the energies that are above us. But what you have to know is, if there's a party, right? If this is the royal party, right? My aunt's birthday and whatnot, then she's here. And she's here. Really? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's a family. Now, this is what I was talking about. As I started to look at all these energies, I was like, it's the 7 sisters. There's like 7 of them going. You're going to need this book. Oh, and it all falls down. Really? Yeah, we haven't pulled this book out in probably 2 years, have we, guys? Really? Mm-hmm. Because we haven't been in the light. We've been in the fucking dark for some dark-ass days for a long time. Really? Long-ass time. What's that book? I bought it in the very beginning. It's called The Goddess Bless. Divine Affirmations, Prayers, and Blessings. Contact the goddess you need when you need her. It's written by a Native American woman, but it talks about all the cultures. I think it is, something like that. It's been a long time. Alright, so let's talk about them first. Really? Oh yeah, bro. We're in some deep-ass, really anointed-ass energy. Really? Yeah. I just lost my book, though. There it is. Alright, number 16 and 12. So we were at 10. Alright, so that's the Emperor. Are you paying attention? We got the High Priestess energy. We got the Magician energy. We got Justice and the Emperor. Alright? And yes, it is a female. The cat goddess, Bastet, or Bast, protection and boundaries, was originally the fierce lioness. And that's why you guys are pulling the strength card so much and thinking it's a Leo. You're getting the lion and you're thinking it's a Leo. It's her. The fierce lioness, the warrior goddess of the sun, and the sun card. She was worshipped throughout most of Egypt. Domestic cats are hallowed to this day, as they eliminate rodents and thereby protecting us from disease, as she is feline in nature. And that's what it is. She's feline in nature, and I'm, you know what I mean? As the Sagittarius, I'm, part horse, beast by nature. Bast is independent. She teaches us to develop our inner strength and not to be swayed by the opinions of others. It's okay to be wild. Just set healthy boundaries. Her playful side inspires you not to take yourself too seriously. The saying is, I honor my power and my independence. And we talked about that. We were talking about keep your boundaries, but don't put up walls. I'm not putting up walls. I have very strict boundaries. You know what I mean? That's what that means. It's developing. After you break down the walls, you have to, reestablish your boundaries is what that means. All right, let's go on. The strength card, Sekhmet. Personification of power, and often aggressive and destructive. However, she always protects Mayat. Always, that's her charge. The feminines, you know what I mean? Like, the women had the women and the men had the men, and that's what it was. It's like going back to Diana and shit and all of the warrior goddesses. Myself, don't even think for one moment. We have the God inside of us. We have the creator force. We're just made in female form. What makes us more powerful is the heart. Hey, I never noticed that she had that, the heart and the feather in that picture. I haven't stared at these in a long time. Anyways, her job is to protect her. I guess I'll just put this down. The goddess of balance and fairness. Having the power of a fierce lioness. Okay, see what I mean? And they're both the lionesses. The ability to control it takes remarkable self-awareness. You have immense power, but remember, real strength comes from how you choose to channel it. Know that you have inner poise to navigate through obstacles and to overcome fear, and have the capacity to move destructive energy into conscious action. The saying is, I channel my feminine strength with grace and love. Your feminine strength, guys, is your feelings. If you're not in tune with your femininity, then you're not spiritual. Quiet on the set? Yeah. Quiet on the set. You think that is so funny, because during this time in the calendar it says this is when it stops. Set went out to kill Osiris, and this is when the war stopped, when he stopped trying to fight him. Going back to, as we're talking about the lions, we're talking about Simba and Scar. And if you know anything about the lions, it's the lionesses that do most, they do all of that. Realistically, yeah, they're unbelievable. Really unbelievable. So those are the energies, but there's more. Because I also have this. So we have empowerment too. So there's dark energy and light energy, right? That's all above us. I made a big fucking mess of that shit. That's okay. Now, those are just basic guidelines. I have a book that talks about all the goddess energy and what it's all used for. So now we're going to go in a little bit deeper. And we're going to try to stay on track with just the ones that we know we're dealing with. Why? Because if we go too far, we'll get too lost. We'll never get out of here. Really? Well, it just goes on forever. So, this one, I'll explain all this in just a bit. This one goes in alphabetical order, so we're going to definitely go that way. Why? Because, what comes first? I. I'm all I. I come first. That's a good answer. Isis, the Greek goddess of the rainbow. Isis is the messenger of the gods, the maid servant of Hera. Fuck Hera. She has power over sea and sky, and she is considered to be the bridge between heaven and earth. What did I tell you? I'm supposed to be your bridge. Ta-da! I am your messenger of God. She is portrayed as a young woman with a golden wing standing at the side of either Hera or Zeus. Right? And that's where it goes back to tonight. I did my invocation, my opening to not only myself and the energy, but to the Sagittarius. And I said it in the name of Zeus and the power of Jupiter. Because Zeus rules over Jupiter. Yeah? You gotta know all the energies that you're invocating. Do you? You don't. Okay? Alright. Let's move on to my aunt. And then I'll tell you more. Lilith. Oh, there's a long one. Goes on. Mayat. Alright, the goddess of justice. Mayat is the personification of divine order, truth, and moral law. She enforces traditions, customs, and annihilates chaos. Mayat measures the heart of the dead with a feather of truth. If she finds the soul has been righteous, the deceased travels to the land of the dead. If not, the soul is destroyed. That's just it. Who judges you? I don't know. You could get Jesus or Mayat. I don't know. It's all the same. It all comes down to your heart, not your doings. What lies within your heart. That's why we go through all of this and we take off all of our hardened heart or our wicked feelings about things. She is all-powerful, and even the gods must abide by her law and judgment. Justice, I have nothing to do with it. I'm not, and that's like the iron twins. I can tell you in all layers of time and all the layers, all the beings of time that are part of the Justice League, we'll call them, I have nothing to do with that. That's like right up there with Fortuna. And I was going to pull her card. That's fate. I have nothing to do with that. They're above my pay grade, bro. I can go and, you know what I mean, sit there and watch, but I can't, there's nothing we can do. We're all subject to the power they have. Each divine being was given power and authority over the universe in some sort. Right? I fucking totally blew mine off. I was like, nah. Me and Lucifer said, no, we didn't want to do our job. But we're not the only ones. After we started something like that, it was like, who came first, the chicken or the egg? That's what you don't understand. It goes so much further than that. He gave life to all, you know what I mean? Where did we come from before we became biblical? We were many things before we were biblical. And that's where it is. It's like we move, we migrate, the light. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, going back to it. So, they, them, envied what? Me, especially. But afterwards, man, that was the whole thing. The free will of man. You have to understand, they didn't know about free will until man was born. So the angels didn't fall until after man. They fell to the creation of man. Realistically, yeah, they had all power and authority in their power and authority. But they wanted the power and authority to be free to make their own decisions. To play God. And that's what we get to do down here as the creators. So, he gave me all the power and authority, but with a position. My job was to be bountiful. Go love that man. That's what I'm created for, is to love a man. I'm still everything else, but it's in my DNA to love a man. Just like it's in the DNA for a man to love a woman. Alright, now, you would say that that's, heterosexual. Let's talk about energy. That's where it is. Forget the sexuality, because he did that on purpose, is he put the energies in different bodies on purpose. And not really, it's just they haven't really balanced their energy. Because I tell you, as beautiful as I am and as feminine as I am, I'm more masculine. This is the divine feminine where I'm walking in my femininity, but you cannot take off the creator God that I am. It must make room for the goddess and bow to the goddess, and that's what makes me the creative force. Really? Yeah. So, like, as far as justice, no, we all had our authority. What's mine? I, in all time, have the ability to give you the knowledge and the wisdom of the gods. That's all I ever really was given. The knowing. I had the knowing. I came here with the knowing. Adam didn't know, and nor did Eve. He put that knowing in an apple, but I didn't eat it. I was of the apple. I was of everything. That has always been my calling in all time. Really? I knew who would win the war. I'm the knowing. I'm the oracle. I always knew. So if I didn't take form, I passed the knowing onto the form. So at this moment, I'm thinking about Aradia. Aradia was the starter. She was the child of the goddess. She wasn't my child, but she was our child. She had me. She had my purpose. Just as I sit here, it's like Pac. I walk with his code on him, with me. I have their life code inside of me. Really? Yeah. Thug life. Shut up, Pac. So funny. Realistically, yeah. I carry his DNA with me. And that's, that can go back to your ancestors and your bloodlines, your cursed bloodlines. You came with a sliver of everything. Really? Not everyone takes form. But then some of them are like, do you want to put in on this? You want to put, and that's where they are. You know what I mean? God takes the, takes the pot. I call it the cosmic soup, the conscious. I don't know, that's just what I call it. And he takes a little bit of everything and puts it together. Some of it he spikes a little hard. He puts a little bit too much this and a little bit too much that. I was just too much. Much too much. He's learned how to perfect it, but not obviously. Everybody's all distorted. So that's where we teach them how to balance it out. The soup of what you are. The dark and the light. The God and the goddess. But I'm not them. They decide. And actually, you could say it's this I could take it to so many levels, because then there's this table that I call, which has to do with the Palladians. They call it the Galactic Federation, Light Federation something. Makes me laugh. But I've literally been there consciously, where they play this world like a fucking video game. I've seen it. It looks like that movie, The Hunger Games, where they sit in front of a table and they move obstacles in front of us, and everybody's working together and they're watching everything intricately. Those are outside beings, but they're still working with entities and spirits. It all meets together in this place, like not even outside of our ozone layer. It's like right on the edge of our breath. Is that what you think is heaven? It's not. It's like a weird spaceship kind of place where there's a lot of like movement. I saw the Spaceballs. That was a good one. That's a great example. Yeah, something crazy like that. Really? I mean, it's quiet and peaceful. Like, I've been pulled up there consciously out of Dark Night of the Souls to sit there and remind myself I'm in a video game. Really? Yeah. It's just an experience. It's just an experience, but you're really caught up in it. Why? Because you're not awake. You're dead asleep in the experience. Really? Yeah. Total recall. So, that's that. Let's go to Saraswati. We got deep on that one. Really? Saraswati, Hindu goddess of words. Saraswati is the creator of arts, including music, dancing, and poetry. Now, even though I wasn't her, that's the same as the bridge. That's exactly what I was on another time. And I told you I am the bridge. So that's the spring goddess. That is the queen of, the princess of swords. Communication and all that. Which goes back to Thoth. Thoth is a version. He's the masculine version of an energy. Hermes. You know what I mean? Fucking all of them, dude. Seriously? Yeah. We're all part of the same soupy soup. She is the maker of science and mathematics, invented the Sanskrit language. Well, that could be helpful since we're trying to learn it. I remember I was making jokes. I was like, what the fuck? What did we learn? Comma. Comma. Which is what? Joy. The rules, and rules all aspects of teaching and learning, referred to as the following one. Sarasvati inspires devotees to great heights in intellectual and creative endeavors. So then you'd be like, well, isn't she the counterpart to them? Well, no, because in Buddhist, the counterpart to Buddha was me, which was Kuan Yin. So Sarasvati is part of the Shiva and the Vishnu family. And it's a whole story, because that's where the emancipation of Kali comes from. the emancipation, the darkness of the dark goddess arises from within. So in essence, Shiva was in love with the dark and the light. Multiple aspects. You have to understand this. It's a lot to go into. Really, I can't go into all layers of time with you right now. Just stick up with me. Keep up with me. Let's see. She is depicted as a white-skinned woman, usually with a peacock. Are you peacocking me? Realistically. Yeah, I have one on my back. It's between a phoenix and a peacock. The tattoo on my back. Really? You have a tattoo? I have a couple. Anyways, moving on. So those are the overlapping energies of the dark goddess. Now, how many have we counted? Did you count them? Oh, okay. And then the Kali, because it's part of the family, bro. It's the dark side. Really? Yes. I gotta ring that too. Where's that book? Number 23. Which is the devil. Why am I always considered the devil? Alright, releasing limiting beliefs, transformation. Kali is the powerful mother goddess. Her nudity represents illumination. The severed demon heads that she holds symbolizes the ego and false beliefs. That's what we do every Friday, going back to Kali. We rip our head off. We blow our minds. We lose our minds. It's how many ego deaths? I don't know. As many times as the ego has to die. And false beliefs. Kali cuts through attachments and causes the release from bondage. Although Kali pushes you out of your comfort zone, she holds out her hand with love and kindness. Fiercely, she wants you to release your fears and blockages that hinder your growth so you can reconnect to your power, your full power. As I say this, it's known as the devil card, but nothing else told you to do that. There's no God that told you to do this other than Lucifer. And that's why you made him the devil and you made him your God. Because the goddesses, you let the goddesses die who were there to inspire you. And myself, I was considered the devil. Lucifer didn't give you the fucking apple, bro. It was the serpent. It was I, the shapeshifter. And I wasn't, and that was the biggest talk when I woke up, is I wasn't even persecuted. It was what I was meant to do. And then you look at all my lives, and that's what he continued to do. He allowed me to do such things. Why? Because that's what, in essence, I was made to do. If I still had the knowing and the ability. So going back to it, it's like the empowerment to leave. That's why people pray to Lilith and Lucifer. Why? Because they stood up. They stood up, forced out of their comfort zone. You know what I mean? They wanted you to release your fears and the blockages that hindered your growth so you could reconnect to your full power. And that's why, you know what I mean? Wolfman's always praying to Lucifer. It's like, dude, that guy has no power. Can you see him? He's powerless without love. And that's why he needed, you know, God gave me him, or whatever. God, and that's why I'm stuck with you. You're powerless without love. All of you are. Feels like he's pimping me out, don't you think? Let go of your self-destructive tendencies and addiction to specific people, objects, and ideas, or behaviors. Fear keeps us constrained, and that's all it says. You know what I mean? The devil card is, it's like everyone always thinks there's something bad in the shit I teach. No, dude, the only thing bad are the things that are inside of you. Your fucking addictions to people, places, things, behaviors, ideas. Your big fat ego. The fall of man was pride and vanity. You wanted to have the ability to say that you built your own city, you built your own kingdom, you're your own ruler. Okay. That's not, I mean, you want to play God, fine, whatever, that's your free will, but it's just not working anymore. Surrender your free will and let God be God and be blessed in the name of God. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. How do you receive his blessings? Well, you got to open your heart up. It's full of all this hatred towards God and people. You can't receive blessings from people when you hate them. God sends you blessings through people. Really? Yeah? Every lesson and blessing comes through people, places, and things, experiences of this world. He's not here, not in a form. He comes in the form of all things. If you're, like I said, with walls built up and you want to go out, you're going to go out like that. You're just going to go out a cold-hearted person. All cold-hearted because of what life did to you. Kanye West posted, "I regret participating in life." I regret all my decisions in life. I don't know how to feel about that, Kanye West. I mean, I've been there, but I don't know. All your decisions, he said. That's what I saw. I regret participating in life. I regret taking life in this form right now. I need to do some serious evaluation as to where I can go from here. I don't know. I mean, that's the beginning, is realizing you have a problem. Alright. Now do you see? And then throw some Persephone in there. Throw some D's on that bitch. And what do you got? You got 7 sisters. Twisted sisters. Now, keep up with me. We're going to leave there. We're going to leave there. Why? Because I need you to understand where this is going. In this book, we talk about all kinds of goddesses. We literally left off on talking about the muses. They're called the 7 sisters. Who are they? The Palladians. They're known as the star system. This is where most of you guys came from, is these damn aliens. Right? There's beings of this star system that go back to these goddesses. They're made of goddess energy, bro. So the goddesses made themselves in all things, bro. God and goddess live in all things. There's divine masculine and divine feminine in all things. Really? Yeah. So literally, look, my page is turned down because I do this. This is their names. This is them. Right here. This is last page. The 9 muses and the creative blessings. We started talking about them. We haven't pulled this book in 2 fucking years, bro. I know it. Really? Alright, and I couldn't pronounce their names. Calliope is the beautiful voiced, the muse of epic, heroic poetry. She is often depicted with a tablet and a pencil. Calliope is the oldest of the muses and often considered the leader. In one instance, Zeus called upon her to mediate the quarrel between Aphrodite and Persephone about Adonis. Speak of the devil. Calliope settled the dispute by giving each goddess equal time, while also giving Adonis some free time to himself. I'm not even gonna get into this. When she is the muse because she is the muse of epic and heroic poetry, Calliope is the master of arts and of putting words and rhetoric together in the best way. When she is the muse that helps stir your creative fire, you can be assured that you are divinely inspired. And then it comes with a prayer, okay? Now, we were talking about that as far as Sarasvati. I could keep all these pictures. Just keep up with me. I only put pictures. Then there's Clio. Her name means fame giver. As the muse of history, Clio is usually depicted with a laurel wreath in her hand while holding a trumpet. Jesus, I gotta pull out the cards. I hate you guys. Alright, going back to my Goddess Blessed cards. Who are we talking about? You'll see. They're all hard right now. Really? Yeah, they're all stiff. Why are my cards all stiff? Alright, I have to do them like one by one, all nice and fucking slow. Really? Yeah. Where are you? They won't let me get through them. There it is. There's that one. And that's where they're all going to show up. They're all going to show in there. This expression. They're all going to show up. I can't show them all these cards. Really? Yeah. Alright, let me go on. Let's see. They want me to show you all of them. They're all just going to pop up. All these goddesses. Really? Yeah, all their images. Demeter's right there. All of them. Oh, God. We're going to go through all these cards. I know it. All right, let's move on. She is usually depicted with a laurel wreath in her hand while holding a trumpet in one hand and a book or scroll in the other. She introduces the Phoenician alphabet to Greece. Clio is also the muse who teases Aphrodite about her love of Adonis, provoking Aphrodite's wrath. In retribution, Aphrodite causes Clio to fall in love with Piraeus, the king of Macedonia, by whom she is the mother of Hythnius, or whatever. As the muse of her story, Clio is the perfect goddess to invoke in your blessings when you need a sense of history about what you're doing. The history might include ancestral roots, as well as writing or making history. History is being made all the time. To record history is to influence what is being reported. When you look into the past, you also see into the present and the future, because time is not linear, especially divine time. We're just repeating time unless you learn that you're on time and learn how to break it. The following two blessings ask for the aid of the muse of Clio to help in a current creative project that you are doing and to help you through a turning point in your life. All right, the next one. Melpiomene. I don't know how to pronounce this. She is the muse of tragedies and songs of mourning. She is usually shown wearing or holding a tragic mask, the club of Hercules, the wreath made of vine leaves. She is also the mother of the sirens, who believes voices memorize those who hear sweet sounds. Invoke the muse of Melpomene if you're in your blessings. You are either working. Do you need that? You can take it. Working on a creative project that is a drama with tragic overtones, or when you're working out some personal tragedy in your life, either past or present. The next one's even harder. Euroteropy. Hold on, I'm coming. Jeez. Come on. Is the muse of music and lyrical poetry. She is the joy giver. Remember, we were talking about joy earlier. I just moved the charger. Your phone's on the charger. Where are we? She is and the giver of pleasure, and that's also what came out in our Kali card. Called she who makes herself loved. Irturipi, I don't know, is depicted as with a flute and a crown of garlands made of flowers. Is also the inventor of the double flute. When composing a song that involves writing lyrics, she can help you be divinely inspired, following the blessing, blah, blah, blah. Right? So we were talking about that too. This all goes back to Sarasvati, remember? Eritu, called the awakener of desire. Eritu is the beautiful muse of love and poetry, who also inspires erotic poetry. She is often depicted holding a lyre and wearing a crown of roses. She is the goddess of mimicry and, what is this word? Pantomime? Traditionally, a pantomime was a performance featured a solo dancer or a narrative chorus. The time to invoke Ararato's blessing is when you are writing a love or erotic poem, a love story, or doing love magic. Nice. You can also ask for her blessings and guidance, for instance, when you are working on a ballet or a story told by dancers who use expressive body movements or facial gestures. Oh, I feel like that's my daughter. She does all kinds of weird dancings. I can't pronounce these words. What the fuck is this word? I don't know, guys. Really? I really don't know how to pronounce those letters. Do you see this word? Can you see that word? Terpshanor? I don't know. The lover of dance is the muse of dancing and music, in particular the choral song. Because of this, she is associated with singing. In addition, she plays the flute and the kithara, a string instrument larger than the lyre. What is the lyre? It's funny because I was talking about all the instruments I wanted to play. Why? Because of Sarasvati. We were talking about all this. Is the ideal muse to ask for blessings in creative projects that invoke singing, especially choral singing, songwriting, and dancing. She's the master of movement and dance, as she's the voice that can either light the world or on fire or sound as sweet as the most melodic. I can't pronounce any words right now. Melodic. I can't say it. Melodic. I can't. Songbird. All right, number 7. Urania means heavenly. She is the muse of astronomy and cosmological poetry. So we pulled Uranus, and this is Urania. She is often depicted with a globe and a compass. While the muse of Clio is associated with history and past, Urania looks forward to the future and for what the stars bring, as the star pattern symbolizes the future. And that's with working with Metatron, and that's why we're looking at the stars, the Pleiades, those stars. We watch the planets, all of this. That tells us what time it is. That's how the Egyptians, that's how we knew. We didn't have anything in the way of our sky. We could see everything that was happening. We knew by the sky. We knew what time it was by the sky. Let's see. For Urania, time is circular rather than linear. The past, present, and future become one, as I see it. After all, Urania and Clio are sisters, meaning in the end, it's all family, which is the oneness, and which is what oneness is all about. We are all connected to everyone and everything. Everything that I'm made up of is inside of you. We just harness it differently. Really? You're too busy looking at what makes us different. You're not looking at what makes us the same. And what makes everybody the same is what I'm made up of, is feelings. You don't have the same actions. You don't have the same experiences. But everybody has the same feelings. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And when you can tap into that, then you can have the same feelings as babies and animals and the air. Feelings are universal across the board. When you stop thinking and start feeling, you'll realize that, and that's where the connection is made, an emotional connection. Mentally, you don't think the same, and we haven't had the same experiences. We don't talk the same. We don't eat the same. None of that. What makes us the same is the divine feminine, our feelings. We have not gone through the same things in life. We have not experienced it. We're all over the world, have had different experiences. But what makes us the same is our feelings. When you start working with your feelings, you're going to open up that oneness. Because you're going to start opening yourself up to compassion and understanding and forgiveness for yourself and fellow men, because you'll start understanding it's not what they're doing, it's why they're doing it, which is their feelings. They're channeling their feelings, and they're taking action in just feelings, which ultimately is like, these are hurt feelings that you're acting out of, or these are desperate, or whatever the feelings may be. So it's all about the feelings. When you invoke the creative blessings of Urania into your life, you align yourself with the cosmological order governing all human activity. The basic battle is between the forces of chaos, which represent the breakdown of any kind of form and creative substance, and the forces of creativity, where everything is gifted with a life that is divine and dances in the dance of time. Creativity, in this way, creates the past and the future. Then there's Thalia. Thalia is to bloom. The muse of comedy, idyllic poetry, festivity, and humor. She is often depicted as wearing a comic mask, crowned with an ivory garland, and carrying a shepherd's staff. Thalia is honored in the European Feast of Fools on December 28th. This is a day to laugh out loud, throw a party, and do something that inspires you to blossom. And that's that silliness I told you about. You have to have that silliness and be funny and, let it out. Asking the muse Thalia to bless your creative projects helps them to bloom. Her power gives them a feeling of festiveness and mirth that is an important part of creativity. A feeling of playfulness often enhances creativity, not to mention day-to-day life. Seeing the humor in things can also help you keep your sanity when everyone around you is losing theirs. All right, number 9. Polythemia. Maybe. Her name means many hymns. She is the muse of hymns, mimic art, and harmony. Polyhymnia. Wait. Let me try this again. Polyhymnia, maybe, is sometimes depicted as dressed in white with a flower or pearl crown, her left hand holding a scepter. Invoke her divine blessings when creative project of a spiritual nature. Traditionally, hymns were songs of praises, usually to the divine. She is also the perfect muse to create more harmony in your personal and professional life. That's what I tried to explain. Interesting. I turned the page and it says divine connection, and it talks about Hindu. When Marisara, the colossal buffalo monster, threatened to undo the world and sent it back into chaos, all the Hindu deities came together and combined their powers into one supreme warrior. So the Hindu divinities poured out their energies as fires. My stomach is so on fire. As fire that rushes together, assuming the shape of the goddess Devi. Armed with the weapons of the goddess and riding on a lion, Devi roped the monster, but the horrible beast escaped by shape-shifting into a lion. The goddess Devi quickly beheaded the lion, but the monster again shape-shifted into a hero, into an elephant. The goddess finally defeated Mahasarara when he returned to his buffalo form, thus saving the world from the forces of chaos. Because of her creation as the goddess, all Hindu forms of divinity can be reduced to the Devi. So you'll see a lot of that in my Kali cards. There's a lot of different levels to this. And without her, no good would have power or form. She gives birth to all force and form. She is the goddess who creates separation out of unity, and the energy that continues to protect the world from chaos. In her light face, Devi is Garui, the yellow, Parvati, the mountaineer, Yuma, the light, Yagamata, the mother of the world. I could pull all of those cards right now. When someone realizes that there is a mythic or divine quality to what she is doing, the insight triggers an inspiration that can only be termed divine. In terms of affirmation, prayers, and blessings, the more active and pronounced your efforts and the higher level of success, the divine, in this case, is the hand that stirs the creative cauldron. The first blessing to the goddess of all creation. Use this every morning. So this whole book is about prayers, affirmations, and incantations. Whereas you can go back and look at someone like St. Patrick that would pray, 35 times a day. And they tell you this is all about who to pray to and when to pray to. Affirmations, prayers, and blessings for good health and vitality. Tells you which goddesses to work with, to call in. Now, as I teach you that, I swear to God, on everything holy, it's exactly what this whole book is. Where's that book? I need to grab the phone and show you a different way to be able to do this. Give me a second. Oops, sorry. In its holder, and I wasn't planning on this, so I must not even go the right way. Probably, sorry, doing stuff that I don't be doing. I usually do this shit beforehand. Okay, now in this book, it's the same thing. It's pages of it. So they'll teach you the wheel of the year, which goddesses. You can learn it through that. You can learn through the color rays, which goddess to use. Through the colors, you can learn their attributes, you know what I mean? You can learn them for spells. There's other stuff back here. Hold on. The wheel of the year, the color rays, the attributes. What's before the attributes? That's chapter 2. There's tons of them. like who to use for mental health, who to use for healing, who to use for heaven. So just mental health. Baba Yaga. I'm only going to read the ones that you know of. The Black Tara, Hecate, Isis, Kanyen, Sekhmet. Let's see, Shekinah. All of these are in my cards. Venus, the White Buffalo Calf Woman. Then there's physical health. Then there's heaven, to work with herbs. For healing, you want to work with Black Tara, the Bridge, Saradwin, Dana, Devi, Hecate, Isis, Ichel, Kanyen. All of these are in my cards. I'm going to show you all these cards, why it's so important. Sekhmet, Shekinah, let's see, White Tara. Then you go into hangovers. Maybe you need someone for guilt. You need Mayat, Renan, Irazurli, Harvest, Joy and Happiness. That would be Bast. Let's see, Yurzili. Let's see, other ones. Hathor, Isis, Kanyen, Scotty, Yuzumi. If you wanted to work with friendships, stuff like that. So it's learning with which ones. Forgiveness, faith, fear. You guys are starting to work through your fear. So that would be Baba Yaga, Saradwin, the Green Tara, Hecate, Ishtar, Kalima, Morgu, Persephone, Shakiti, and the Valkyries. Really? All of them. All of them. Enlightenment. Baba Yaga, Blue Tara, Black Tara, Saradwin, Green Tara, the Red Tara, and those are all the, the White Tara, the Yellow Tara. I told you I was working through my, I think it was green before. If you need to do exorcisms, who would you call? Again, myself. Saradwin, Hecate, Hel, Isis, Mama Wata, let's see, Oya, Nut, Ron. This is it. You can call in way more than just Jesus to take care of things. Eclipse, earthquakes, divine intervention is the Devi, the Durga, Mama, Snake Woman, Sophia, divine communication. So there's all of those. Those are just the attributes. And then you can go through them, of course, through alphabetical order. Now, this is why the cards were all rough. I'm going to give you a dose of them. But I have too many cards. I could read all of my Kali cards of all the different Hindu goddesses. These are just as many as we can. Alright, so I'm just going to show you them so you can have them. Your mind will recognize them. Don't worry about it. It's like a weird test. Really? You just need their visuals. Later you'll remember this. Your mind, that's what she's giving us, is memory. See, they're stuck together. They weren't earlier. They weren't all hard like this. Remember all the goddesses with the wreaths and what they were all holding. These are from all pantheons. These were my first, again. Now, here's the Tara, but she only came in one. When I went looking for it, I was like, I'm working through my Tara, but I could only find a couple. I couldn't find everything. The moon goddesses. They're so stiff. I don't know why my cards are so stiff. It's like literally unreal. The ones that have numbers in this, these are chakras. Some of them, right? Like obviously, the yellow. What is that? Your solar plexus. Oh yeah. Here's your moon goddesses. We talked about Diana. We're in a Saradwin. Celine. This will be next, healing. But we're in a Saradwin. How do you know? Because the moon was, we had a new moon, so it's new. That's what we have. Yep, Hecate. And then, so, you'll notice my Morgan card. That was my first card. That's the first card that ever stayed at my altar, was this Morgan card. I never replaced it. I never put another one on. There's certain cards I use, and that's exactly where the Kanyen card came from. And that's the Lover's card. Who's Morgan in here? She's a moon goddess. She's not any of the other cards. But Kanyin is the lover's card. And that's what that is. Those are my past lives. And those came from here. And this card is always, I didn't know I was the Morgan. I didn't know who Morgan was, but that was the first picture on my wall. I mean, besides Jesus, of course. Really? Yeah. Did you get enough? Okay, well, I teach you all the time the dark goddess forms of this. Most of these goddesses have a dark one, but then there's just dark goddesses that are just depicted as having the same lives as these light goddesses, but in a dark form. So every time we read Baba Yaga is Kali. You know what I mean? It's just another story of it, made in different, and that's how God sent gods and goddesses to all the people, so that they could have it. You know what I mean? The Hindus have all of their goddesses. The Greeks have all their goddesses. The Egyptians have all of their goddesses. How come religion has forgotten about all the goddesses? You have all your gods, but you don't have your goddesses. All right, well, that's the problem. And that goes back to, you know, Christianity demonized the feminine energy because of that ability, and that's where the witch hunts came from. Because we had the divine connection. It wasn't just because we were women, it was because we were made up of feelings. And men deny those. That's it. So I come here to help you work through them. But if you keep denying them, you're just in your own power. You're becoming powerless to your feelings. They will overtake you, and they will destroy you. They'll destroy you and other people's lives if you can't. A great example is Eminem. That's a great example. He destroys people with his feelings. Did you hear what I said in my earlier video? I said I wanted him to use his powers to destroy someone that's bothering me. Isn't that what you want from me as a witch? You want me to use my powers to take out your enemies? But what is my powers? The power of belief. What is his power? The power of his words. We all have our own powers. And people come to us to take our powers, to make themselves greater. And I told him I knew that was wrong, to ask you to fight my battles. Like, I'm not powerful enough to do this. Like, I can't. And I just want to point out, God made me listen to him before I got on here. There's nothing worse than listening to Russ ramble for 6 minutes on Discord. He got real quiet when he saw me in the comments. And I know he saw me because then he fucking muted my comment. What'd you say? Hello, twin? His whole tone changed. I was like, listen to him ramble about his stupid life. Apparently he wakes up at 8 a.m. and he goes to the gym and he plays basketball, and then he's home by 1, and then he's just whatever. That's what he says. I don't know. That's what he was rambling about. It's like, Jesus Christ. I was in deep ass meditation staring at the candle. God's like, go look. I'm like, what is it? And I get on Instagram. He's like, come check me out. I was like, I don't want to. And that's it. I gotta go check out this douchebag. What's he talking about? I didn't want to. I would not want to spend my Friday night listening to you. Never do. What a waste. I used to hang out. That's how I met him. That's how I met you, douchebag. Royce used to do that. Royce used to have these live videos, and he would collaborate with artists, and I would jump in on there. Then Royce stopped doing it. And then from him I met Vish. And Vish was hella cool. He would do it in the morning. So after I would drop off my kids, he would be on live videos just chopping up with rappers, just talking shit. Everybody be waking bacon, talking shit in the morning. Not that I would say much, but it was cool to be part of a community conversation, a community smoke circle. I like that kind of situation. That's where Russ came from. I'll never forget that. I just started following Russ because he was part of the conversation. It was Royce, and he had Russ, and he had King Los, and somebody else. I can't remember. And they were just chopping up. Maybe it was even Marv or something. I don't remember. That's it. He ain't talking about shit, though. Just going back to it. I managed to do this in an hour. I thought we'd be going into layers and cards and cards and cards and cards and books. There's many books in time about it. We'll go through them as the time comes. And I did this before. You know, we're going into, what's next? Yule? The Yule tide season is coming next. Really? Yeah. as we get into December, so we're just right in there. We're between, we're in between seasons, which is the adventure, which is in between worlds, pretty much. Really? Y'all? Did that make sense to you? All of those powerful women, feminine energies are upon us for you to take hold of. And I used them in tarot form, too. I was even able to show you what that meant in the tarot. So you have the devil, the strength, justice, judgment, the magician. What was the other one? I don't remember. The high priestess. You had the high priestess and the magician, justice and judgment, and the devil, which is, that's all the fucking best cards, realistically. And I taught you who to pray to for inspiration. That's what we were talking about. Saraswati brought it in, and I had to bring it in another flavor. And that's what it is there's a lot of creative inspiration that's being poured out onto us musically. And that's what it said, too. Going back to that card, they said, read it again. Gosh, I think we should just leave it at the altar, to be honest, because it's heavy duty on it. Really? Well, I mean, one card led to 9 goddesses and all kinds of great energy. And that's just how it works. And I just want to point out, she had more arms than she was supposed to, too. Mastery of musical instruments. Right? Success in education, enhance intellectual ability. Meaning maybe you're actually going to get this. And you'll remember this. And, you know what I mean? Musical instruments, it doesn't necessarily mean an instrument, but I literally was playing the bell all week, so maybe. I like the idea of it. I like instruments, and that's really it. Now, let's go back here, because on top, here it is. The Devies. There's one. If I could get it to go in there. That's not it. Not at all. There's Indra. We talked about all of them being put in there. Hold on. There's another one. There's another one. And then she was loved by who? Shiva, the god of destruction. And also it said over there Vishnu, who is the god. Vishnu, where you at, bro? The maintainer of the universe, right? Loved by the gods. And that's why, as Kali, I'm loved by... Hey, dude, don't fuck with me. Really? Yeah. Alright, hold on, I'm not done. Really? Nope. Now, we also talked about the Kama today. Right? Yep. The Kama. Deva. Alright, but we were also talking about the Devis. So that's why I was like, you can't really put them all. And then, she also had Brahma, whatever. We talked about Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. We talked about this energy being in there. Yep. Really? Yeah, bro. So serious. Bhadra Kali is part of Kali. Okay? But, no, I think they said Hanuma was actually in there. Alright? So, there's Saraswati. Where's the beginning? Where the fuck is that card? Oh my god, I lost it all. There's Saraswati. But there's Parvati. So it gets all kinds of mixed up. And that's what it's like. It's all family. Now, if you want to start understanding that, you're going to have to do a lot of Hindu. But I'm the Kali, so all I do is stay in my own lane. And that brings back all of the family knowing. Let me put the energies away. Those are the 10-day. I just put them away. I knew this was going to happen. We were going to keep digging. in here. And there's my Isis card at the top of the Archangel's Tazfakel, the initiation into the dark night of the soul with chaos. Is that me? Yes, but that's not where I put it. Where did I put them? What cards am I looking for again? Fuck, I forgot. Oh, the Kali cards. That's underneath. It's in the dark cards. I'm giving you energy. Trust me, I know you don't know what's happening. I'm just supposed to feed it to you. These oracles, I'm going to just show it to you. See all of these? Those cards are these ones. And I'm just going to show you so you can fucking buy them for yourself. You can work with us. But this alone is just going to tell you about all my layers of my Kali. They say I'm the triple goddess, but I'm much more than that. When we go into the priesthood of the Morgan, you know, that lady that writes those, she tells you, like, there's so many layers to just the 3 that she believes, because each of those 3 have more to them. They layered it in 3 beings, meaning they felt as though you were dealing with 3 specific entities within this entity, but never so sure, because even those entities were shifty. What you could say is they believed that they were dealing with 3 aspects of the goddess. I'm considered the triple goddess, right? Especially as the Hecate. It's like you're going to get 3 different... You're either going to get past, present, or future me. You're going to get young. You're either going to get maiden, mother, or crone me. You're going to get life, death, and rebirth me. That's what it means. But in that are so many stages of me. And as of me, it's you. Everything that I am is inside of you, and I need you to know that, so that when I'm gone, you know that you're not, we were never apart, and that we'll never ever be apart. And I don't need to come back here to remind you who the fuck you are, and who we are, and what we are together. I don't need to do this again. As he says, as I say that, I can see him sending me to a whole nother civilization where they need God's messages. I'm so tired of being your goddess, God. Can I, like, at least rest for, like, an eternity before we do this again? He is so trying to get me. I said I was resting in the stars, God. I mean, that's where it is. But I'll still take form in another... I can't believe you, God. But here and now, I leave here and now to go on. I don't have to return to remind you again. I've come too many times to give you this. All my lives. To come and give you the gods of, you know, to reclaim, so you could reclaim your power and divinity and be placed back in, you know, with the gods. It's the last fucking time. I'm fucking telling you, I'm not coming back. Unless you guys get sent to where I'm going. You're not. I'm going to the stars for a while, bro. I'm not doing this, God. I swear to God, bro. You better give me, like, I don't know, a couple centuries or something. I'm not doing... Can't believe him. Really? Yeah. I'm trying to not take life, and he keeps trying to give me life. Why can't I just be a beautiful star in the sky like the rest of them got? It's the whole point. I just want to rest there. But, you know, realistically, I'm a fierce energy that'll get bored. That's what he says. You're going to get tired of sitting around. Pretty much. It's like the last thing you ever want to hear is God wants to give you another life. No, bro, I said this was my last fucking life. Quit playing around. What the fuck are you trying to do? You said, we said, you can't make, I mean, he'll get me out of the skin and make me convince me that it's a great idea again. I can't believe you're gone. I can't believe you. We're going to end on some Isis Oracle cards. Why? Because that's what we're going to do. I have some little oracle cards. These ones come in a big version, like my Kali cards. They're written by the same person, Alana Fairchild, but I was guided to get the mini versions. Why won't this close, God? Okay, thanks. Are all my cards put up? Nope, not these ones. Okay, thank you. Really? Yeah, I've been getting annoyed with shit. Alright, how did they work this deck? You can cause 1, or we can do all 5. They're just little ones. They're just messages, guidance messages. And that's all the, you know what I mean? Unless you're in the dark, that's all you need is some guidance, bro. You just need guidance to life. It's not like life isn't going to happen. All the knowing is, guys, is to make you feel comfortable in the unknown. Because the things you don't know, I'm trying to show you. This card wants to fall out first. Show you what you don't know. And to be careful, or to be comfortable in not knowing, but to be taught and guided and led. That's what we're made to do. There's a whole universe of us out there guiding you. I just need to teach you how to turn your scepters back on, how to receive the information again. That's it. Okay? So this is how these work. There's an introduction, and it's all great. So the first question is, what is the real issue for me right now on a spiritual level? There's that fucking word. Cartucci. Choose to release that which would lower your vibration into fear. Come back into love. Stay true to yourself, and you shall inspire others to think and speak more positively when they are around you. Invoking the power of speech and words for your strength, protection, and spiritual growth will work effectively for you. This is all about the power of, you know what I mean, the throat chakra, but channeling it into words. All right, how can we best heal that in our day-to-day life? The Eye of Horus, he returns. The Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. As my son, he inherited my sight. You want to leave it. You want to leave yourself here, a part of yourself here. That's why it was so important for you to have an heir. To leave a part of you here. I am so hungry. I'm going to drink this. This one I really like. I got these, and I really like the oatmeal taste to it. I also got something tonight. I was like, I got myself a broth. Fucking so expensive. What the fuck am I going to do? If I wasn't going to drink it on a fast, why would I be buying that shit, bro? Like, why does it need to be that expensive? God, he wants, like, the best. I don't know. That shit is really good. Really coats the belly. But anyways, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to need it pretty soon. I'm getting a little weak. Tonight, my daughter got into a fucking fight with me, an argument. And when it happened, my stomach started burning like crazy. And then I started doing all this spiritual work, and it went away. But then she came back in, and my stomach started burning again. Check this out. I told you if I got real hungry, I'd get a broth and drink it. Look at this. Mushroom chicken bone broth. It's all organic. Do you know how much this shit costed? $7. What are you supposed to use it for? Typically, you would use it to make something else with it. You'd use it for, like, you know, soups or something. You would add shit to it. Listen to this. At Kettle and Fire, we're not just making good food. We're making it our mission to improve the way we eat, starting from the ground up. Whatever. It says simmer over a stovetop. If you're in a rush, then microwave for 60 seconds. And that's, I don't know. It says we swoon for mushrooms. Slow simmered organic chicken bone broth, organic vegetables, and organic mushrooms come together for endless mugs of it says mushroom goodness. Mushroom goodness. I like mushroom flavored shit. I told you. Really? Yeah. And it's really that. It's just giving your body what it needs. When you do a fast, bro, you're supposed to stay in absolute prayer and meditation. You're not supposed to be out doing shit, bro. You're supposed to be staying still. Not burning calories. Not doing shit. I mean, but we're not traditional like that. I can't go into the forest for 40 days and just sit there staring at the sun and moon and not eating. That would be the original traditional way. But no, I have to spend 40 days moving and washing and cooking and cleaning and shit. You get weak. What do you need? Fucking protein, bro. You need protein. Minerals and shit. Lots of fucking water. Really? Yeah, so I might be having that. I don't know. Last night I almost gave it up. I almost risked it for a biscuit called a fucking Oreo cookie. God, they're the devil to me. They're actually not. They're my savior. I love Oreos. Make sure to feed, your children Oreos and memories of me. On Dia de los Muertos, put out Oreos for me, okay? Cookies and milk. That's me, bro. That Santa Claus thing, it was me. But I don't like chocolate chip. I like Oreos. It could have been me. Bringing gifts and all. Anyways, go back to it. You have much divine support and protection that you may grow your abilities to serve others with divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Bro, they are watching you like fucking hawk. That's literally what it is. Hawkeye over there. He's not. He was considered the Falcon. Alright, what is it? The next one is, what will be the gift or outcome, or what will the gift or outcome be? This is too funny. The miracle of Isis. Isis offers you a miracle healing. No matter how much you have struggled with particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, relationship issue, or inner struggle being part of it, you are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. Let go and let the goddess be. The gods really tried to, all this religious books really tried to get it across to you to walk in faith and leave things alone, but they never delivered the message like the goddess, and that's what God said. It's like nobody could deny the serpent's tongue, is why he brought me here. He said nobody can deny the serpent's tongue. Alright, what's the biggest challenge or opportunity for me to get to the best outcome? Stay true to your power, or stay true and be in your power. You are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you choose. You don't need their validation or permission to exist. And that goes back to me earlier. Like, there's a bunch of fucking new people, and there was this new, I don't know who they are or what their deal was, bro. I don't know, but they were out there with a broom. So we're walking up the stairs. Milia's walking up in a fucking dress and high heels. And this person is literally, they see her coming but don't care. They're brooming at her. Like, any fucking person would have stopped for a minute to let them go by, but she didn't. They didn't. It was a they. They. When I got angry, I said, I could see your fucking vagina, as I was mad at them as I went up the elevator. But I was like, I'm not going to say that because I know they're trying to be a they. But your fucking vagina is showing right now. Anyway, so they swept all that crap on her, right? And then I was smoking a cigarette, and I was like, hold on. And I put my cigarette out, and it was like a half cigarette, and so I put it in my sweater. And as I walk off, they turn to me, and they're like, there's a cigarette thing over there. And I turn around, and I said, excuse me? So there's a thing over there. Next time you could just put it in the cigarette. I said, the cigarette that I put in my hoodie? Said, oh, my bad. I said, yeah, what's your name? So why you want to know my name? I said, so we could be properly, so I have a proper introduction to you. Now I ain't about to give you my name. I said, okay, well, my name is the High Priestess Phoenix. I'm the witch on the 5th floor. Nice to meet you. Oh, I don't care about any of that. I said, I bet you don't. And I walked through the door. Okay, now that happened. And I had an attitude. I was like, oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, that sounds like Cardi B. Okay, that's what happened. Some Cardi B came out. What'd I do? I grabbed my candle and went out there and started praying. And I lit all that. I was like, oh, let me show you what I am. Because, we got to do this anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as I saw that on the calendar. On the camera. So I went out and I do what I do. You're new here, but I do this. You're going to see me do this all night. 3 o'clock in the morning. Fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. This is what I do. I didn't ask nobody. So then it was funny. It's like these people, they pull in and out of the parking lot. I sit here every motherfucking day. I have a right to religion. Can't nobody say shit. This is my spiritual practice. To sit here, burning my herbs with my candle, praying to my God with music. This is how I do it. Ancient ways, we can look at in every religion. This is how I do it. This is how you can catch me out there all the time. That's where I be. Really, I don't go leaving. I used to hide in my car because I didn't want to offend fucking people. I will when it's too cold or it's wet. But typically, no, I sit outside because that's where I need to be. So I'm sitting there and I'm burning my stuff and I don't ask. I don't care what you people are doing. I don't care that you're driving by. I don't care that you're kids and you're asking questions and you're wondering why my big old light. I don't care. I didn't ask your permission to exist. So then, like, you know, cars will pull up and out of there. And, like, earlier this car pulled up. I could feel him behind me, but I didn't care. You saw that I was sitting here doing this before you pulled your car up and opened all your windows and then want to complain that this huge ball of smoke is going into your car. Go park somewhere else. Realistically. I just want to point that out. I didn't ask permission. I didn't ask your permission to sit here. And that was, you know, motherfucking Diana keeps sitting there where I sit. She knows I sit there. I saw her there last night. I'm not going to go to another place just because you're sitting here. I'm going to sit right here and blow smoke in your face. Everybody knows I sit here, bro. It's not like I own the block, but I'm not going to leave the block because you want to sit on the block, blockhead. Humpty Dumpty had a fucking, you know, had a great fall. And whatever. And that's just it. It's like, you know, I don't ask your permission. And I don't care what you think about what I'm wearing, what I'm smoking, what I'm listening to, what I'm doing, bro. Go to your, and that's what I'll say too. If somebody approaches me, go to your own space. Go find your own space. Get out of my space. I'm entitled to have a little bit of space, which is just an arm's length of space to practice my spiritual, you know what I mean? I have to live in this fucking concrete jungle with the rest of you, and that's it too. It's like, you know, let me light an incense or a cigarette. Ooh, that motherfucker pissed me off today. Made me want to fucking light a pack in his house. I won't even do that, dude. I have a lot of people tell me I could smoke in their car, and I will never do that. Not unless I, like, I don't think I would. I just don't. I might do it in my car because I finally had to, like, you know, but I'm not doing that. But anyways, going back to it, in the middle of Gary, or at the end of Gary's Sagittarius fucking video, he was saying, you know, if you have a thing with smoking, you're going to probably want to stop because that blocks your chakras. That's bullshit, bro. Absolute bullshit. The natives brought you in and passed the tobacco around so you could have a spiritual experience. It doesn't block shit. You're a fucking idiot. And that's where it is, too. Is like, can you not smoke next to me? Can you not stand next to me? Am I not outside? Where am I supposed to smoke? Why don't you go somewhere with that? I didn't ask you if I could smoke here. You're not going to ask me not to smoke here. Now, out of children's respect, you know what I mean? And that was it. This girl, she was sitting right next to me, and I was burning shit in the middle of today, and I was smoking a big fat joint. And then her car wouldn't turn on, and that's where all this started. She needed some jumper cables, but my keys were upstairs, and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, she popped her hood right in front of me, and I was still smoking. But as soon as her kids got out and came right next to me, I put the fucking joint out. I'm smoking out your kids. And that's just me. Other kids, no. If I'm sitting next to the other parents that smoke next to their kids all the time, I'm not going to do that. You're smoking next to your kids. Why the fuck do I need to just put mine out? But when they're just random kids that didn't ask, they just happen to be stuck right in front of me, they don't have to be part of my smoke session. But I don't turn off my sage. I just turn off the weed. I don't turn off the sage, and I don't turn off the candles, and I don't turn off the incense when these kids coming over to me and asking me what it is. I ask my spirit what's the actual answer to give them, and then I usually tell them it's magic. One fat kid I messed with and said it was witchcraft, just to scare him because he was making fun of it. He was scared as fuck. They all know I am. Those little kids know I'm out there doing witchcraft and shit. Their parents tell them. Anyways, I don't need your permission to exist. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is. Remember that you are a divine being, free to be you. That's years of fighting it. I was embarrassed. I was afraid of the persecution of just being a witch. I didn't even want no one to know. Now I'm proud to be it in the daylight, all the time. When I go out there in the middle of the night, I'm not one of these tweakers, bro. I've been sleeping all night. The gods have called me out here to praise God in the dark hours. They know it. I'm not out there tweaking. I bring my weed out. I bring my sage. I'm sitting out there. I'm not one of these drug addicts. I'm not drinking. I'm out here praising God, dude. I am only out here praising God, dude. I am not doing anything else out here. If I have to handle business, I'm usually in my room on my phone. You can't get no peace out there. I'm not out there doing that shit. I'm not out here making friends or nothing. I'm praising God, bro. And that goes back to I'm seeing, you know, the Broncos Stadium. I've done so many of these things where God has asked me to stand in front of people and praise him and daylight, and I have to be brave about who he has made me to be. And this is just the beginning, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be his goddess and stand in front of, you know what I mean, the globe and say that I'm real and have everyone try to say that I'm not real and neither is my God. I didn't want to have to do that, but that's what I'm here to do, is fight this spiritual battle. I'm the leader of it. And every fucking spiritual being that believes in God and Goddess is going to stand behind me. They know I'm the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And that's what we stand for. And that's what we're bringing back. Bringing sexy back. Alright, last card. What special guidance is there to help me resolve this in the best way now? The brother in darkness. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. The Tower that comes on Friday is making you, it's empowering you. It feels disempowering, the darkness and the chaos, the destruction feels disempowering, but it's made to empower you because you couldn't take the power upon yourself to destroy this thing. God may have told you for a long time to move out of your house. Or maybe he told you not to have Thanksgiving. And I'm just seeing this. This is what I'm seeing. I don't know why I'm seeing it and who it'll happen to, but somebody's turkey is going to start on fire and it's going to burn down the whole fucking house. And they're going to be forced to move. And they're going to lose everything because they didn't listen. There was every reason to cancel Thanksgiving, and they didn't. And because of that, you know, I don't know if they're a night. That's how my mom cooked the turkey. Really? She would put it on late at night and leave it at 375 for like fucking 5-6 hours. She'd wake up in the middle of the morning and shit, turn it off. And then she'd just reheat it later in the day, but you could wake up for breakfast and turkey, it was done. She made most of the cold sides the day before so that they were, you know what I mean, chilled the next day. The only thing she made that day was like, you know, the hot sides and like pies. Everything else was basically done. She was pretty smart about that shit. But in that essence, it could happen. And that's just what it is you don't listen to God. So God has to take force in your life and teach you some really difficult lessons. And that's what would happen. It's like none of this would have happened if I would have just canceled Thanksgiving like I was told. You learn to start listening to your inner guidance. The hardest of ways. Why didn't I just listen to myself? I knew this was going to happen. You don't trust yourself. As soon as, and I taught that was one of the first things I taught Morgan in the beginning. Learn to trust yourself, even if it doesn't make sense to you. Your spirit just told you to go grab an extra pair of underwear. Why the fuck do I need underwear? You have no idea, but you don't want to not have them. It knows something you don't know, bro. And you're going to need those underwear. Let's hope it's a period. Let's hope to God it's a period. Realistically, yeah, bro. Something like that. They'll do all kinds. They're constantly preparing you. It's like, how do you know? I've learned to listen to it louder than anything. It's an awkward language. And it's preparing you for months and years. It's not linear. Right now, you have just did something that's going to open a gate maybe 7 months from now. So they're going to make you get something tomorrow to protect yourself. And you won't even need it for like 7 months to maybe even 7 years. But the second you open that gate, you open that blessing. You needed that gift, right? So the darkness, the dark night of the soul, the destruction in your life is actually a blessing in disguise. And they always say that. Through every dark night is a bright day. You just don't see it. And it'll take years from now to see how this plays out. You know? I see my teen, you know, being a teen mother. I would have never guessed it was going to end so badly for those two. When I had them and I was trying so hard to be the best teen mother, the best mother. It didn't matter that I was a teenager. That didn't enter my head. I was programmed to be the best mother. But I couldn't keep myself, like, I couldn't, the outside wasn't going to support this intention that I had. I had the best intention, and I did my best to make sure my kids had the best, and I was doing the best. But as the outside world started to crumble, I didn't have the mental capacity to stay on track and just be mom. I had to take on the outside world, and I lost that ability to be a great mom in order to just survive. And it sucks because as the years went by, it's like, damn, this is never gonna get, this is destroyed forever. But give it time, you know what I mean? It has to fall apart to fall into place. And that's really what it is like, there's a very strained relationship with my oldest children and me, but there's love, there's compassion, there's understanding, there's forgiveness, there's kindness, and an unlimited amount of space. We all just need space. We're all hurt about me not being able to be the best mother that they deserved. When we come together, we all have to be faced with that hurt. You know what I mean? Not right away, but it's still there in the back of our conversations and everything. You know what I mean? Sending a message to my daughter on her birthday telling her I love her and I wish I could do more and how great she is as a human being and everything. It feels good, but it doesn't feel good because I still can't be the mother she deserves. But I'm still trying to be a mother. And it hurts to even, approach it. I have to accept my failures with understanding that I just didn't have it. And that goes back to something like Bobby. I may have loved him this much way back when, but didn't try to, try to make it work because I just didn't have it in me, bro. And I could hate myself. You had him. Why didn't you just keep him when you had him? None of this would have happened. I can't. I can give nothing but forgiveness to the fact of who I was mentally and emotionally and forgive myself for not being brave enough to want to love somebody. Because look at where I am now. That's 8 years ago, and with 3 years of intense healing, I'm still struggling with that. It's not terrible. I feel terrible that I wasn't stronger before, but I can only just forgive myself because I couldn't have. There's no fairy tale possibility I could have ever seen that, if I didn't push Bobby away when he got his baby mama, we could have worked out. That's not true. I can't ever tell myself that lie. He needed something stronger than me, and God gave it to him, which is his wife. I wasn't going to be a wife, bro. I couldn't even. God gave him what he needed, and that's okay. And and that's where it is like, fuck. He can't be everything I need, but he is something that I need in my life, and when I need something, that very something, he is that. And you want people to be forever and more, and that's what it is. It's like, I'm not going to fuck up what I have with Marshall trying to make it more. I learned that the hard way after going through how many. Do you know what I mean? But the desire was always there, and that's kind of like that. It's like, fuck. The darkness, it won't make sense till later. Way later, bro. Looking at I can remember getting divorced, and it's like, fuck. It just, all of it was so wrong. It was just all so wrong, and I'm never going to recover from this, and why am I doing this? And it didn't even really stick until, years later. But it's like, oh, shit. He's asking me to work tomorrow. Oh, cool. He's asking me to go somewhere else, and I'm not going to. Really? Yeah, he just wants to, I know what he's doing. Really? Yeah, I know what he's doing, and that's what it is. They like to move him around based on their production. So yesterday he tried to put me in Lone Tree at a Sam's Club. And today he's offering me, I don't know where it is, but I think it's the same thing or somewhere down that way. And it's because why? Because the white people like me, bro. It's simple. He's simple. He's trying to put me in, the neighborhoods. It's just like a white neighborhood. I don't know how to explain it. I can't think right now because I'm in two different... He threw me off. Going back to the dark things that happen in your life. They don't make sense when they're happening, and they can take a long time to make sense of it. My mom dying, bro. I can't say it without it hurting, you know? You'll have to understand that things just bring feelings. I can't think of my mom without crying. And that's just part of it. You gotta accept this is the feeling that comes with this conversation. You can't not have the conversation just because you're afraid you don't like the feeling. It's only a moment. It doesn't last the whole conversation. But it's part of the conversation is crying about the ones that are no longer here. So, you know, I didn't know she was dying when she was dying. I didn't know until it was already 4 days into hospice. She's been under in this comastatic state that I realized she's not going to wake up. She's going to die in this bed. I was so confused. But, you know, after a couple days I realized, you know, after I knew what I was dealing with, I realized that I had to let her go. And after she was gone, I was pretty fucked off because I realized she didn't leave me with the skills I needed to just live without her or even on my own. And what I mean by this is like, if there was a way, you know, you wish you could pray her back to life, but her body, bro, no matter how much I may have wanted her or thought I needed her longer, her body, that would have been so fucking selfish to make her stay in that body just because I needed her longer. I didn't understand that till later. You know what I mean? These things. I see, you know, my family. Why, God? Why did I have to be the one to stand up to Aunt Pat? Why did it have to be me? Nobody ever did it in our family, bro. Nobody stood up to that woman, bro. It was death. You were dead to the family if you did this. And yet God made me do it. And I stood up to her to protect another family member from her. And I caught it all. And I lost all of my family for this. I lost every single one of them. Because I stood up to her and told her that she was wrong. And it took so many years for me to really let it sit in that I really lost my family over this. And my brother, you know, as he would still be, all of them are still together, they would try to get me to fix this so I could still be part of the family. It took me a long time to understand why he made me do that. Even when I told my sisters that I had been kicked out of the family, they're like, that can't happen. It happened, bro. You have to see it to believe it. And then what happened is they did it too. And God would make me stand up to people in my beliefs, and I'd be so upset. And I'd lose everything, but in losing them, I was free. Because they never really cared about me. To dispose of me in such a way because of how I believed. And what I was believing was to do the right thing. And they kicked me to the curb for believing and doing the right thing. Showed that they weren't the right people. Justin is Aunt Pat's grandson. Justin cheated on his wife and the wife found out. And so she wanted a divorce immediately. I went to Aunt Pat's house the next day when all this was popping off. Aunt Pat is furious because this family's about to fall apart and she's blaming her because she won't just forgive him. And she's like, how fucking dare her after everything we've done? And I'm trying to calm her down and let her feel it as a family because this is what Aunt Pat does. If she turns on
Lori, bro. She's gonna have the whole family turn against her, and she's gonna ice her, and Lori's not gonna have nobody. Lori grew up in our family, bro, since she was a teen mother with Justin. If Aunt Pat does this, she's gonna... So I'm trying to save her from what is about to happen, and instead it happens to me. And she won't forgive her. She won't come to her senses. And I said, you're just being wrong. You can't do this. She's part of the family. And she wouldn't hear me, and she kept getting louder, and I hit her. I was like, you know, I didn't use the word ancestors. I was like, our relatives would be absolutely ashamed of you. They left you in charge, not to tear up the family like this. That was my mom's best friend. Uncle Oro loved her. That was, you know what I mean, Eva's daughter-in-law. You can't just do this to her. And when I said that, dude, I was like, when I told her that all of her dead family would be ashamed of her, that was it, bro. She told everyone, and I was done. Nobody would have anything to do with me except for Buster. Now what happened with my sisters? Same shit, bro. It was over race. My nephew was making fucking jokes. White jokes. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's white, bro. My mom was white. You're white. He's white. You don't talk about white people, bro. I don't care. And they're like, no, but, you know, he grew up in Oakland, and you know. And I'm like, where the fuck did you grow him up where there ain't white people, that he can't respect his own skin tone? He's a white nicka. He's not even dark skinned, bro. He's white with fucking freckles. Look at his kids. They're white. And it turned into a huge race war. And I lost them. Because I stood up for some shit like that, bro. And, when it's happening, bro, these towers and these awful moments, and you're losing everything, just standing on your morality and your belief and your truth, and everybody's challenging you, and, you know, all things are breaking loose, all hell is breaking loose, and that's the Cali. It's like, fuck, God, why? And that goes back to I'm seeing Wisconsin. Damn, bro, she acted like she was my friend and that she was going to take care of us and everything was good. I told that bitch no. And she went crazy and threw us out of her house. And I'm like, why did you make me do that? So that she didn't have that kind of power over you. That these people were never your people. They weren't. And the very second you stood up for yourself and stood against what they believed, they were going to kick you to the fucking curb. And he showed me, bro. They did it. Everyone does it. If you don't think like them, if you're not agreeable, if you're not pleasing, if you don't stay with the program, bro, they're gonna get rid of you. My ex-husband, you know, my first husband's family in Mexico, they loved me. They hated me when I left. Because I wouldn't, same thing, because I wouldn't stay with him while he was cheating and being a drug dealer and an alcoholic. They knew he was doing all that. I had my house and he'd come to theirs to do it. He brought his girls there. He partied with them there. He met up with they knew what he was doing. They demonized me for not sticking out the fucking program, bro. It doesn't matter that he was cheating on me. It didn't matter that he was on dope, that he was selling dope, that he was a fucking alcoholic, that he wouldn't get a fucking job. None of that mattered. That's like unforgivable. That I couldn't make a relationship with this man and stick it out for my children. I lost all of that. That's all of Dago. I lost all the respect to Dago because of that. Because I couldn't stick it out with him. Where the fuck would that have led me? Told you this was going to be a long video. It couldn't have been long without the shadows coming up. Guys, it doesn't always, and sometimes it does. It's very obvious why this had to fall apart. It just doesn't mean it hurts any less. Whether you do it or God does it. And sometimes it makes sense, but not fully until much later, though. You can't see the bigger picture when you're just, you know what I mean, putting the pieces together. Connecting the dots. We're making future. In our present, we're creating our past. And that is actually, you know, through these experiences is what makes us wise for our future. We're not creating the future. We're creating the past. Only when you change your direction are you... No, you're just walking into... And that's what I mean is we can go deep into this, you know, past, present, and future. Do you believe you're creating a future? Like what you're doing right now is creating your future? Because what you're doing right now, come tomorrow, will be the past. That's what I mean by that. They say that our current actions determine our future. That's true, depending on your intentions. But they're not. Our current actions are nothing more than the past. Let that sink in. It's a higher level consciousness. And that's where it is like, you're taking this too serious, bro. You're not really getting out of it what you're supposed to be getting out of it. You're getting a lot of grief, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, a lot of pain out of it. Yeah, we all experience that through the experiences. But are you getting any of the wisdom? Are you understanding why we're going through the trials and tribulation days? Do you understand the challenges that are being put in front of us? Are they making you stronger? Are they making you wiser? Or are they really just breaking you down and making you weaker and weaker? They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to. You shall overcome any negative energy with grace and triumph. Stay to your heart. There's no need to be afraid. That's what Jesus taught us. The final thing is, you shouldn't even be afraid of death. He's going to bring you back to life. He's got another life for you. All things. Let me tell you this, though. Don't get suicidal on me, because that's stupid. Then you're asking for a shit next life. Really? Just stick this one out, guys. We'll stick it out. Some days are harder than others. Let's talk about suicidal. Fuck. I would say like the first, 6 months of... No, it would just come and go. I've had at least 6 of them this year alone. Really massive ego breaks where I just want to die. My mind can't take it anymore. I've lost my mind too many times. It can't take it. It doesn't want to wake up and fight battles tomorrow. Which is what? I don't know, stupid shit like trying to make friends, pay the bills, get a job, stupid shit. They crush people. They're not supposed to. What crushes us is our pride. If we were just more humble about what we were experiencing, we wouldn't be so hurt by the experience. Guys, if you guys weren't so prideful, we'd be a lot closer than we are. And I heard that said earlier, I really gotta leave on this note. This is a dirty note. I had to leave on a Lilith note. We were talking about women, and we were talking about, Taurus and stuff, and I was talking about, really embracing myself and my size and what I am. And I shared some videos, I shared this song about it and stuff, and being thick, and I had made some nasty comments about it, and it's like, this is the literal download that came to me. I'm going to be very flat about it, but it was built up by the energy. You know why most of you men have not had sex with a fat girl? Or what you would consider a fat girl? Something that's not skinny? Is pride. What would people think if I had sex with this girl? It's just more girl. And that's what any man would tell you that has a thick girl that he's, had home and doesn't want little girls. It's your pride. And I had said really graphic things, to Wolfman about that. It's like, could you even handle my big ass, big thighs, or a fat pussy on you? It never even entered his mind. He has to Google what a fat pussy looks like because he's only dealt with little girls. It comes on a bigger sized girl. And what keeps you from trying a bigger sized girl? Your pride. You think you're fucking a fat bitch. You're not. Unless that's what you think, and you should... Ooh, as I soon said that, it disconnected. It's like you shouldn't be fucking any bitches like that. But that's what Kanye said. He's like, you know, I can't stand fat bitches in lingerie. You just can't stand big girls? Why? And that's so mean. That's like us girls running around saying we can't stand short men. We can't stand fat men. We can't stand bald men. We can't stand white men. That's just pride and ego. And that's where this whole twin flame said. And that's what I said. Bro, I didn't fuck with white boys. No? Look at most of my twin flames. What the fuck? The fuck? Where'd all you white boys come from? Really? Yeah. Realistically. And that's just it. It's like, I would never. That's against my pride. That's against my moral conducts. That's against my standard. You're not my type. Doesn't mean I can't love you. I just had to learn. That's all. And I just want to leave on that note. It's like, it's really funny to think. It all led to the same conversation as I was down there. This is where it's all coming in. The stuff that I was seeing in the candle. It's funny that you guys think that your ex is the only person in this entire world that you could have a happy relationship with. There are men in countries like Turkish men, or like German men, or like Russian men, or like European men in general. There could be African men. There could be Asian men. There could be, you know what I mean? There could be South American men all over. There are men all over in all 7 continents that would love to meet me and try to give me an experience different from the last man I was with. You're not limited to your little cesspool of people. You're limiting yourself, saying, he's my only. Do you know how many other men and women there are around the world? You're trying to please someone in your own town, in your own circle, at your own job, in your own country? Why? Because you don't interracial date? What are you talking about? Have you ever tried Italian food? Want some Italian sausage? I don't want the American brand. I want the real deal that speaks Italian. Did you know that Kobe Bryant lived in Italy? That's what I mean. Fuck. You guys are trying to get a basketball player in fucking LA. You could have had a fucking basketball player in fucking Italy. Just saying. Realistically, yeah. Your belief system are very limited. And that's because you limit yourself to what you think that, is best for you, based on what someone told you. I don't have to be with a skinny guy. I don't have to be with a young guy. I don't have to be with an old guy. I just have to be with someone that makes me happy. He doesn't have to be a particular type for it. He doesn't have to make other people happy. Just me. And, going back to Bobby, it's like, that really pisses you guys off. Because he didn't have to work for all the fame and fortune and gets all the love. And he's just him. It's like, it doesn't have to be pleasing to you. And I'm not here to please your family, friends, or colleagues. I'm here to love you. That should be enough. You want something that looks lovely, that impresses them. Russ wants someone that looks lovely. Why are you at home on You're so funny. I'm not even going to get into your relationship issues. I'm not dealing with any of your issues. You have issues. Issues. I'm going to see you tomorrow having a lunch date with your mommy. I can't even take you, Russ. I really can't. I'm just saying. There could be a Canadian. You know what I mean? Who the fuck said I'm supposed to be with an American? Really? I couldn't meet, who said? And that's just to the rest of you. Who the fuck said you're supposed to date in your own state? Let alone your own country. Let alone your own race. There could be someone on the other side of the planet that really fucking wants you. That really would fucking treat you right. That doesn't live by the stupid standards of your stupid neighbors that don't appreciate you. And that goes back to the Asian communities. Asians are really hard on each other, like they're never good enough. We think you're geniuses. You're good enough over here. You're better. I mean, all right, don't let Trump and the Trump administration hear me say some shit like this. But I think you guys are an intellectually superior beings because you put in more work and you have more, diligence to it. As a human race, dude, they're a different type of race. Would you say they're superior? No, I said intellectually superior. They study more. They have a better way. I'm not going to say better. Everybody wants to say we have a better way. They have a different way of life. A different conscious way of life. That's all. And that's really what it is. It's like, and you could easily look at that. It's like, you could look at someone that has the fast life in New York, like, oh, you have the greatest life. And then you could look at somebody that has an awesome life on the beach. Oh, you have the greatest life. And you could look at an awesome farmer that, you know what I mean? Oh, you have the greatest life. Everybody has a life. They make their life great, bro. It's not. That person in New York that's doing all that fucking running around and acting like a crazy person, they're like, well, yeah, it's just life. The person that's living on the beach, yeah, this is my life. The person working at the farm, it's my life. It's just life. And the more adventure to it, the better the story is told if you ever tell the story of what your life was. And that goes back to all this inspiration. Guys, we need to leave these stories here. We need to leave better stories. Do you see how the movies that are out, they're terrible. They'll write movies about us. Why? Because nobody will live like we did. God won't put people through what he's put, later on. They'll live off of the adventures of our lives, just like we live off of the adventures of the Bible. We're the next future, bro. We're the ancestors. In essence, we always were. We're just here again. Most of you don't realize that. Wait till you realize how many times you've been here and the fact that you're here again. You can be as pissed off as me. What the fuck am I doing here? You just realized that at 40 years? I know. Isn't this bullshit? How long are you here for? I don't know. Do you know ISIS? I'll go find out. Let's find out how long you're stuck here. I am the keeper of the Akashic Records. I do know such things. Somewhere inside of me, along with all the rest of the knowing. Hey, get to know yourself and then you'll know God. Love yous. Laters. Bye-bye.